So this is the Zorki 1 camera. It is a rangefinder camera that was produced between 1949 and 1956 as a copy of the German Leica 2 rangefinder cameras. So it is pretty comparable in design and weight and size and function and everything. But of course it was made much cheaper back then and is way more affordable nowadays. So you can get one of these from like 50 euros to 150 euros in great condition, including a lens. I would say this is actually a very nice camera. It has two separate windows on the back, one for rangefinder focusing and one for framing, but no frame lines. So you have to use the whole field of view to frame your shot. I mean, the windows and the viewfinder are quite small, but definitely usable in my opinion, even with eyeglasses. So I actually quite enjoy those cameras. Why do you say cameras? Because I do have two of them. I had one in the beginning, which I got for pretty cheap. I think it's this one. They look very similar. They only have a different lens on it now. The only difference in optic is the advance knob has slightly sharper edges on this one than on this one. As I said, I got this one for pretty cheap, and the problem was that not only the rangefinder window was quite dirty inside and a little hazy, so it was hard to use. But the bigger problem was that it had small holes in the shutter curtains, which I saw when I took off the whole cover by unscrewing those screws outside. And then I bought this one online from a private seller, and I told the seller that I already had one with holes in the shutter curtain, and he was actually kind enough to repair the other one for me, because he had some liquid electrical tape still laying around, and he also had some experience in repairing cameras. He actually did a great job. I already tried it with film and it works perfectly. As you may or may not know by now, I also do have similar cameras, maybe a bit more recent cameras, like this from Canon, like my old favorite Canon 4SP2. And I also do have a Leica 3F with a Canon lens on it in this case. So those are of course relatively comparable cameras to the Zorki 1. Although, as I said, the Zorki 1 is a copy of the Leica 2, not of the Leica 3. So it is a teeny tiny bit smaller than the, hard to show, than the Leica body. And it also has the separate windows. On the Leica 3 it was already closer together, but still two separate windows. But I have to say, I mean, the Canon, the Canon is my favorite because it feels extremely well built. The Leica is also very great, and you can feel that it's a high quality camera, of course. But the Zorki, I would say, feeling wise, it's not far behind. But I have to say that actually the Jupiter 8 lens, 50mm f2, which I have in here, is a really nice and surprisingly sharp lens, I would say, as you may see in the photo examples that I show later on. Just like the Canon and the Leica camera, The Zorki one is also a bottom loading camera, so you have to take off the base plate and take out the spool and insert the film this way. Actually it has a quite nice shutter sound to me, but the king for me, so to speak, is still the Canon, which is really quiet. Leica is also nice, but a little bit louder than the Canon. So all in all, I think this is a really recommendable camera to anyone looking for a cheap alternative. In my opinion, the Zorkis are really good copies and really good user cameras. I also do have a Zorki 4 and a Zorki 6, which are also very nice cameras, but I have to say this one does feel a little bit better in my opinion, a little bit more solid, I would say. But probably if you can afford to spend a little more money and want something for to buy for a long time, which you would keep a long time, then maybe I would still recommend getting a Leica 3F. For this one I paid about, I had to send this out for repair because it had multiple issues, so all in all I paid about 700 euros for this one, so it's quite more expensive than the Zorki. The Canon, I think the body only, I paid close to 300 euros, so very good deal on this one, I would say. But I did recommend this camera so much in my past videos, I will not stop talking about it. So I do have a wide angle lens, a 35 2.8, and a collapsible 50 3.5 industrial lens, as I said. And I do have a few of those 50mm lenses, and I quite like the look that the black Jupiter 8 has on those cameras actually. The Zorki one is a quite simple camera, I would say. It only has shutter speeds from 1/20th to 1/500th of a second, just like the Leica 2, being a pretty exact copy of those cameras. It also has a switch for rewinding the film, and that's about it. An advancement knob, a shutter release button of course, a cold shoe mount, and 2 separate windows, and a tripod socket on the base. That's about it from this camera, so quite simple camera and relatively basic and easy to use in my opinion.